Hi guys, thanks for tuning in today on my review on my Honda HR194 lawnmower. I purchased this lawnmower way back in 1985, so naturally it's a one owner unit, put in 34 years, and actually it's still going after 34 years, so we'll call this a 34-year long-term one ownership. So why haven't I replaced it in that time? Well, the only reason I haven't replaced it for that period of time is the lawnmower is still running well, and I mean it smokes a bit and stuff like that, but apart from that I haven't had any reason to go out and just buy another one. Gets used regularly. It goes, cuts grass, does everything it's supposed to do, so you know, there's no reason to go out. When I purchased this back in 85, it wasn't a cheap item. It was, back in 85 it was somewhere around $660, $680, so it wasn't cheap by those standards, but in those days it was made in Japan. I'm not sure exactly where it's made now, but you know, it was a well-made machine. It suffered a few battle scars. In actual fact, in the first few times I took it out in those early days, it suffered a few major drawbacks there, and I remember straight off on the very first run around the yard I ended up bending the blades on it. So you know, we'll just go a little bit on the history of it. So this one comes with that, like naturally in those days, that Kevlar type catch bag. One day I did get something sharp through it, and it ran a rock or some object and it went straight through that one. So these are very strong bags, so whatever went through it that day. Another thing, put a rock through the side here on the casing, and I'm showing stress cracks down the side of the catcher, or the bottom bowl there. Still running original tyres, so everything's good like that. The actually I've never looked over the thing in much detail till now anyway, so apart from that, you asked is it led a easy or hard life. I say it's led a pretty hard life, to be honest. What have I actually done to it? Well, the blades, after 34 years, they're still the original blades. We might tip her over in a minute and have a look at those. The air filter, well, the air filter's still original, but I've cleaned it a couple of times, but spark plug's been replaced a couple of times, but apart from the motor or anything else on it, I've actually done nothing to it apart from start it and mow the lawn. But yeah, so I actually might clean that while I'm out here now. So that is the original air cleaner after 34 years. Like I said, the motor smokes a bit now on kick over, but it still cuts grass and does what it's supposed to, so I'll go back and clean it in a minute. Apart from that, it's been a very good mower, so I don't know how much longer it goes. I think it's got a bit of a knock in the motor now, a bit noisy or something. On kick over it blows a bit. We'll have a look at the blades because they are the original blades. So when we look underneath, it's just a single blade affair in those days. I'm not sure if now they run a full blade system or what, but you can see here it's taken a couple of good hits here at the front. broken off up here. The blade itself is, you could say, pretty blunt. I chipped out at the back here. So I suppose by today's standards, you know, there's not many things today you could buy to go 34 years. Even the catcher. Anyway, we may start this bad boy up and give her a bit of a workout and just see what it's like on the kick over, how it performs, and it'll be testimony of how good a Honda lawnmower really is. Stay tuned. Anyway, meanwhile I've decided I'm going to give this a bit of a filter, a clean out. Save me doing it again. On that tip over, a bit of dirt got down the slot, so I'm just using the vacuum to clean that out now. I might end up having to get out and buy another one. Anyway, that should do that. Let's check out these wheel bearings for 34 years later. Hard to believe that. Now, after all these years with this lawnmower, we asked what thing I really disliked about it. I think if anything, the most thing I really disliked about this was this grass catcher. Although it did the job well, it actually did the job too well. And what happened was, when you got out there in those days, or even now when you get out there with it, throws the grass into the bag that well, that actually fills the bag pretty quick. After that, all the grass gets compacted into it, right back down into it, into the shed of the thing, and then it clogs up inside the machine, and you got to pull up, turn the lawnmower off, turn it on its side, and then unblock it all underneath, where it gets all tangled up all around the blades and blocks everything up. So the catcher system was too efficient, and you know, there was no way out of it to warn you that the bag was full, and you usually just go along and kick the bag to see if it feels like it's half or 3/4 full of grass, and the idea is to jump out or pull over, take the bag off, change it, because if not you're caught up for a couple of minutes with the bag change or stuff like that, and then you've got to go in and do a full clean up. So after a while that became fairly annoying, but you know, apart from that, well, I think on later models, or years later, they decided to go the hard plastic type ones, and like all the other lawnmowers I got. But that's the only real drawback about it. As far as economy goes, it's a very economical lawnmower, and probably ran at half the price per lawn to do a lawn compared to what in those days a Victor was. So, and as far as maintenance goes, well, there was never any maintenance with it, because I never did anything apart from a couple of spark plug changes, and I did a few oil changes, but not that many, probably one every 5 or 6 years or something like that maybe. And then I cleaned the air filter a couple of times, so it'd probably only be a couple of times, so I wouldn't say it was blessed with a lot of maintenance. So, you know, it's had a fairly, yeah, I'd say it's had a fairly hard life. So considering the hard life it has had. It's surprising it's still going. Suppose I better check the fuel first and see how things are going there, and it's got very little, so I think I better fuel her up before we try the start. Let's go check the oil too. The oil looks alright considering it hasn't been changed for quite a long time, or several years. Wait a minute. Clean. I'd expect it to blow a bit of smoke, but okay, Jules, you ready to demonstrate?
Demonstrate. Now put this on choke. It's on choke.
Now the big test. It's been months. Oh. First time, every time. Anyway guys, that's the quick demo of the 34-year-old Honda lawnmower. So I was pretty surprised myself that it started the first time after hadn't been started for several months. It appears to be still going alright, so it looks like it's going to do this season too. So and I was worried about now, thinking if I'll look into buying another lawnmower or not. So hope you enjoyed this little bit of a fun review on a 34-year-old lawnmower, and thanks for watching.